friends, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to my third and final episode of my Best of Beauty series that I do every single year. So obviously we're going to be talking about the best makeup of 2024. If you missed my previous two videos, I talked about the best hair care, skincare, fragrances. In my first episode, we then touched on my favorite drugstore products from the year, and now we're going to do high-end makeup, which I feel like now that I've got everything sitting in front of me, this year was really, really good. I found some of my all-time favorite products this year. I'm really excited to chat about everything. A lot of these products you've definitely seen on my channel. Some you've seen almost every video, I swear. Like there's some products in here that I discovered this year that I don't even remember how I lived without. So let's get right into it. I feel like I couldn't start this video without giving a lovely little honorable mention, but also genuinely a little bit of a biased shout out to the Revie Beauty products that launched this year. So Revie Beauty is my beauty brand, and although I personally have been loving these for a lot longer than this year because I developed them a long time ago, they launched this year and it makes me so happy to finally be able to use them on camera. So we now have 9 shades of Effortless lips. I gotta give a special shout out to Zinnia, which is one of my favorite shades currently. It's hard to pick favorites, especially when it comes to Revie Beauty products, because obviously I'm creating my dream products. But I gotta say, there is something so special about the baked blushes that launched this year, so I have to mention these. These are genuinely my favorite powder blush. I do not know what I ever did or who I was before these blushes. They're to die for. They are so creamy, but they're a powder, so you get the best of all of the worlds. We also launched the perfect blush brush to go with these, so little shout out to the blushes. Most recently, we finally got to launch my Holy Grail lip treatment oil. This stuff is so good. I can't live without this. And also, we launched cute accessories this year as well, including our silk scrunchie and also our beanie. I'm so grateful for all the launches that we had. I love these products so much, and it's so fun to see you guys finally be able to use them and love them as much as you are. So thank you again, you guys, for making this year so special for Revie Beauty. Speaking of, before I forget, right now we're doing 12 Days of Delight over at Revie.com, where every day we've been choosing an order from that day and we're sending you a PR box of some Revie goodies. So if you want to participate, that's happening right now. It's really, really fun. But yeah, you guys, just thank you so much for making Revie Beauty what it already is, and I cannot wait for 2025, you guys. You have no idea. I've been cooking up so many things behind the scenes, and I can't wait for you to see what's to come. I'm so excited for next year, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Let's stay in 2024 and let's chat more about all the products that I loved this year. So let me just pull up my list so I don't miss anything. All right, starting with priming products. I actually didn't have a proper primer that I fell in love with this year, but I did fall in love with this right here, which I do use as a primer. This is the DIOR Forever Glow Star Filter. I'm wearing it underneath my foundation today. This is so good. I wear the shade 0. I love this so much. The thing I love the most about this is it's not sparkly whatsoever. I actually prefer this to the Charlotte Tilbury one, mostly because of the sparkle level being a little bit lower. This gives you more of like a lit from within glow. I still love the Charlotte Tilbury one, by the way, but I do find myself reaching for this more than that one. It's so good, and I love all the different things you can do with this. All right, hopping into skin tints. I did notice that I put this in my 2023 favorites, so I'm going to quickly mention it again because I still loved it this year. The CIELE Tint and Protect SPF 50 Tinted Serum. This looks so skin-like. It's gorgeous. I love that there's an SPF 50 in here and it's mineral. I'm really loving CIELE right now, and I wanted to re-mention this because I feel like I thoroughly enjoyed it all over again this year. It's so good. This could possibly be my favorite skin tint launch of the year. It's the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint, and this is to die for. This is a little bit more of a splurge for sure, but I'm telling you, every single time I wear this, somebody says, your skin looks amazing. They don't say, oh, your makeup looks good. They always say, your skin looks amazing. I've noticed it's a trend. Every time I have this on, I get compliments. I take this with me everywhere. It's one of the things that I pack in my makeup bag when I go on trips. I'll always pack like a more full coverage foundation and a skin tint, and this is what I've been bringing. It's so good. It's seriously so good. One of my favorite discoveries of this year. Okay, I thought that I had grabbed this foundation, but it might be in a makeup bag somewhere. The Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. This is something that was launched a little bit later in the year, but I love this stuff. I think it gives the perfect amount of coverage. It wears very, very well on me. I feel like it does have that slight blurring effect, but it still looks very natural on the skin. I was expecting this foundation to almost be a little bit heavier and thicker than it actually is, but it's a great foundation. I've been traveling with it a lot as well, which goes to show you how much I really love it. It's very travel-friendly packaging too, which I feel like is another reason why I love to take it on the go with me. It's so nice. One of the best foundations that have launched this year by far. It's really, really beautiful. I also tried earlier this year the Polite Society More Than a Pretty Face Skin Caring Foundation. Now this is what I have all over the skin right now. This is much more full coverage than the other foundations I'm talking about. I feel like there's a time and a place for a type of foundation like this. It wears beautifully on the skin. Again, it gives great coverage. It's very smoothing and it's very balanced. Like I don't look too oily throughout the day. It's not too matte, not too dewy. It's right in the middle. It's a really beautiful formula. The only thing I would say is I couldn't find a perfect match for myself, so I do have to mix two shades, Very Fair C and Very Fair N, in order to get like a decent match. But other than that, it's really nice. And I love how it looks on the skin. This is the foundation, again, I'm wearing today, and it's great for full glam occasions. There's something smoothing about it too, which I love. Now this next foundation is definitely more of a recent launch as well. I really love this though. This is the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydra-Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. My goodness, it's such a long title for a foundation, but it's so good. I wasn't sure if I was gonna love this because I felt like I had seen people either love it or hate it. I personally really love it. I do set my face entirely with powders, so for me, it doesn't get too dewy throughout the day. If you have super oily skin, I don't know how you would feel about this, and less is more. But if you want that really healthy, lit from within glow, this is a great foundation. Good amount of coverage, not super, super full. I would say more of a medium buildable coverage. But again, you wanna use less with this, at least that's what I found, so that it doesn't look overly greasy. And if you use the right amount, it really looks stunning, and it looks great throughout the day for me personally. So love this one as well. And the packaging is gorgeous. It feels very, very luxurious. All right, moving on to concealer type products. I love this CALIRAY Hideaway Brightening. What is this called? Brightening and Hydrating Under Eye Serum Concealer. This stuff is so good. I use the shade Dawn. I'm actually wearing it under the eyes today, and I feel like it's been a while since I've worn this, to be honest. And I put it on getting ready for this video, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It really brightens up the under eyes. I don't have to use as much concealer, but I also found myself using this without concealer this year, especially on an everyday situation. Like pairing this with the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint, for example, is a great kind of no makeup combination for me. Love this so much. Like I have nothing bad to say about it. It's the perfect texture, perfect weight, perfect coverage, so good. I think by far my favorite concealer discovery of this year has to be the Tarte Creaseless Creamy Concealer. Once I tried this, this is literally what became my everyday concealer this year. I think it's perfect, especially under the eyes and especially paired with my favorite Huda Beauty loose powder. Those two products underneath the eyes look so flawless, especially when you apply the powder with a puff under the eyes. There's something about it that I love. It's perfectly hydrating. I find that it doesn't crease on me. It's just the greatest concealer discovery of this year by far. I love it. Another fabulous concealer that actually took me a second to fall in love with is from HAUS Labs. The reason why is because this is a little bit of a thicker formula, so you don't want to use too much. But when I got the hang of like how to use this, it became one of my favorites, and there's something so perfecting about this and so natural looking, just like their foundation, which I love so much. This looks so good under the eyes. I actually really appreciate the applicator too. It's got a very unique paddle shape to it, and there's something about this that I love for kind of getting in this area here and really almost painting the under eyes with a concealer. I know that probably sounds a little bit intense, but this is really nice. Again, a thicker formula, which I wasn't sure about at first, but it's really, really beautiful and one of my favorites from the year. All right, hopping into powders. I feel like I still love the Huda Beauty powder, but recently the Mario powder, you guys know how much I love this. I feel like personally, it's one of the best that launched this year, actually the best loose powder that launched this year. I wear the shade Fair Pink. This is what I've got all over the face, and it is so good. It's definitely more of a substantial setting powder, so if you don't want that feeling or look, it definitely gives more of like a full glam appearance to your makeup, which I love, and I think there's a time and place for. Very beautiful, love it. I love the coverage. I love that it's a little bit more of a heavy powder, but not like cakey. It just really sets the face, which I personally love. Another powder that's absolute perfection is this one right here from M Cosmetics. The way that this completely blurs the pores is insane. I almost wish I had a little bit more oils going on. Maybe it's enough on my forehead to show you how this actually completely blurs the skin. It's so good, you guys. I love using it as more of a touch-up powder throughout the T-zone, and it's basically a pore eraser, but it's lightweight, so that's what I love, is I can really touch up with this powder throughout the day, and it's not gonna look overdone or cakey. It's absolute magic. I love this so much. This is one of the best pressed powders I've ever tried. Don't sleep on this, it's so good. All right, I feel like it's the year of cream and liquid bronzers for me. I've got quite a few, so I'm gonna try to go through this as quickly as possible so you're not sitting here listening to 30 minutes of me talking about liquid bronzers. But I don't know who I was before this product, you guys. This is one of my favorite things that I have in my entire makeup collection. It's from Makeup by Mario. It's the Softsculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum for everyday or for more glamorous occasions. It just comes in handy so many times for me. I especially love this for everyday though, especially if I want a little bit more of a fresh appearance. It has a little bit of a glow to it, so it really gives a lit from within appearance while sculpting and warming up the face slightly. The shade Fair is perfect. If you have super fair skin and you don't know what shade to work with when it comes to a bronzer type product, because I know that can be tricky and a lot of things can look muddy on myself quickly. This is a great formula. It's very lightweight. I honestly feel like I could get away with even a deeper color. I might add that to my collection actually, just so I have options, especially in the summertime or if I want a little bit more of a bronze look. For every day, the fair shade is perfect for me and the formula is divine. It's to die for. Also 10 out of 10 on the packaging. Honestly, I mostly use the pump, but I see tons of people use the little doe foot as well, which I think is just brilliant to have both options on a product like this. So love this so much. I feel like this next product was a super innovative formula that I discovered this year and I love. This is from Simi Hayes Beauty, and honestly I haven't tried too much from them, but this is so good. This is their Skin Suede Melting Bronze Balm and it's divine. The balminess of this is also what makes it so great for like an everyday situation, but I personally really love the color. It's got almost a more olive undertone, which is hard for me personally to find in complexion products and like bronzer products for fair skin anyway. They usually lean a little bit more warm or neutral or cool. They don't usually have an olive undertone. So I really love the formula on this. It's so beautiful. It just melts into the skin. It's the perfect like pigmentation as well to not look overdone. Beautiful product. Really love that. You know, we gotta hand it to Victoria Beckham for this contour stilo pen. It's in the packaging that you usually see for an eyeshadow stick, but it's a contour pen. And at first I thought, oh, there's no way that that's gonna actually like give you enough product to see it on your face. Like I felt like you'd have to use a lot, but that's not the case. This is actually a beautiful formula, but I love it for really sculpting the cheeks. I love it for contouring the nose. I love it for sculpting around the lips. I think it's so innovative and beautiful. I love this product so much. I personally really love the DIOR contour stick. Now these are very cool toned, so I always like to wear this layered with something a little bit warmer, but for me personally and for my skin tone, I love this shade. This is the shade 01 Light, so I'll usually go in with a little bit of a warmer cream and I'll take this and just kind of focus it on the areas where I want extra sculpt, and it is one of my favorite contour sticks by far this year. Like it's something I've been using basically every day. Okay, something that deserves an award is the Too Faced contour stick. These are the melting, bronzing, and sculpting stick. They smell like chocolate, first of all, which who doesn't love that? This is actually what I have all over the face today, but these blend out like a dream. They are so easy to work with, so creamy. One of the best like cream contour formulas I have ever tried by far. It's just divine. I have nothing but good things to say about this. I feel like if there's one contour product to try, I would give this one a go. I mean, well, and the Mario one, but they're different. If there's a contour stick to try, I would try this one first because it's just that good. Truly one of the best bronzer formulas out there by far. Another contour stick, I told you guys, I have so many contour sticks. The LYS contour stick is so nice. This definitely has a little bit more of a warm undertone to it. So this is a good example of what I like to pair with the DIOR one. I feel like they balance each other out very nicely, but the formula on this is so creamy, really, really beautiful, and just foolproof. It's really nice. And then for a powder bronzer, love from this year, RMS launched these earlier this year. These are the Redimension Hydra bronzers. I've got that layered all over the face as well. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not sparkly, so don't let that scare you, but these are beautiful. They're very hydrating, they blend out like a dream, and I feel like they just look so natural and fresh on the skin. I don't know if you can see the finish of the bronzer on my forehead a little bit, but it doesn't look too drying. Like, it gives you a little bit of a glow, which I think is nice when it comes to a powder. All right, we're moving on to blushes. I feel like I have to mention the Westman Atelier Cream Blush in the shade Petal. This is something that I discovered very early this year, and it's one of my favorite shades in a cream blush ever. I already loved this formula, and I had tried this formula before, but I picked up Petal, I think at the beginning of this year, and it's one of the prettiest blushes that I own. I know we touched on the brand CIELE earlier with their skin tint that's just out of this world, but also their liquid blushes are so good. I get the most use out of Bahati, which is the center one, and then January, but I gotta tell you, the color June is so good, especially for summer. It gives you a beautiful kind of toasted blush look. It's so nice, and they blend out like a dream. These also have SPF 50 in them. I'm actually wearing a little bit of January right here. I'm mostly wearing Revie Beauty Paradise blush right here, but then I did pop a little bit of the January color, which is this kind of bubblegum pink right here, and it looks so pretty. These are fabulous. Another very recent discovery, but I'm gonna put them in here because the formula is to die for. The Armani Luminous Silk Blushes. I bought these because apparently this is the combo that Sabrina Carpenter has worn for a long time. I don't know if she's still wearing it, but her makeup artist said that this is what she uses for that signature blush. So it's the shade 62 and 53. I always mix the two. I really think the combo is beautiful, but the formula is so nice on these. You really can't mess them up, and then they wear very well throughout the day, which I absolutely love. We gotta give a shout out to the Rhode Pocket Blushes from this year. 2 shades specifically I wore like crazy, and I still wear like crazy. Sleepy Girl, which is this beautiful mauve shade, and then I layer Piggy on like the apples of the cheeks. I like that this one kind of gives a nod to a bubblegum pink, but it's a lot more muted, which I feel like is really nice. Because sometimes when it's too neon, it just lends itself to a very specific look, but I like that you get that feeling, but it's very wearable. So I love layering these 2 colors, and the formula is fabulous on these. If you haven't tried these yet, they're so good. The next blush formula that I fell in love with, and I actually don't know where I put the shade Surreal, so I'm just gonna hold up this shade. This is the color Whim, which is also very pretty, but I use the shade Scene, or I think it's Scene. Was it Surreal or Scene? I can't remember. It's the lightest shade that I use the most. Beautiful. It's like watercolor for your cheeks. It's so nice. It blends itself out, blends like a dream. These are really beautiful, and a little goes a very, very long way. I love the packaging. You just press the little button on the bottom to dispense it, and it's beautiful. Such a good formula. For powder blush, I also fell in love with the RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Powder Blush, specifically the shade French Rosé. They have a lot of really pretty colors, but this is by far the one that I used the most. It has a beautiful sheen to it, but it's just the perfect pink color, especially for spring and summer. I found myself reaching for this quite a bit. It's so nice and just makes your cheeks look so healthy. I love this color and the formula. I gotta give a lovely shout out to the Sephora Luminizers. These are so good. They're a baked formula. Baked formulas are just top tier, in my opinion. This is obviously why I launched baked blushes. I think there's something about them that just looks so natural, and these highlighters look so natural. They're so beautiful. These kind of have a little bit more of like a gel base, it seems like, but they are baked and they just melt into the skin so beautifully. My most used color is Iced Pearl. And then I also really love Rose Quartz every once in a while, but I would say Iced Pearl. If you want to try one and you're similar skin tone to me, Iced Pearl is what I love to use the most. I also like this one for more of a blush topper, but I will say I use this one the most. I finally splurged and got the Chanel Balm Highlight. Do I think it's worth the price? Probably not, but it sure is a beautiful product. It's what I've got on the cheeks right now. I love a good balmy highlight, and this one is really, really nice. I don't think you need to buy a Chanel balmy highlight, but I'm glad I have it, and I sure got a lot of use out of it this year. I'm dying to try the L'Oreal dupe though for this. stay tuned. I'll try that next year. But if you like splurging on makeup, this is one of my favorite splurges that I've made. We'll just say that. All right, hopping into eyeshadow, the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes, the Neutrals palette was by far, I would say, my most used palette from the year. The colors are so flattering. It's just perfection. It really is something that I reach for on an everyday basis and something that I travel with because these colors are just foolproof for me personally. I love the more neutral to cool undertones in here. So nice. You guys know how much I love this. In the spring and summer, I got so much use out of this palette right here. This is the Danessa Myricks Groundwork Blooming palette. So it has a lot more pinks. I'm actually wearing this as an eyeshadow base all over. And then I've got some of the Mario mattes on like the outer corner of the eyes, but that's how I started my makeup look today. I think this one's so fun. If you like more mauves and pinks, this is such a great palette. And you get creams and then a matching powder, which I think is very innovative. But yeah, I really love this one. It was one of my most used, especially in the spring and summer, for sure. I feel like this is like an honorable mention, but Urban Decay brought back their Naked palette and I love it. It's so good. I especially love like these more grungy browns. I've used it more than I thought I would. And I used to have this palette, but I don't remember using it the way that I am currently. So quick little mention there because I feel like this didn't launch. Obviously, this is one of the iconic palettes, but they relaunched it. So I thought I would put it back in here because I got so much use out of it this year, ironically. It's a beautiful palette and such a classic color scheme too. I feel like this could be my favorite palette launch of this year. And that is the Huda Beauty Icy Nude. This is a very new launch for this year, but I've been using it like crazy, you guys. I love the colors in here. I actually wore this to the Dancing with the Stars Austin event that maybe you guys saw over on my Instagram. My friend Lisa J went and competed, I guess, in the Dancing with the Stars Austin charity event. She invited me and a lot of other YouTube creators, our friend group kind of, that I've been seeing a lot this year. And anyway, I wore this eyeshadow palette in case you were wondering, and it looked so pretty and it matched my dress so nice. This palette is divine. I love it. 10 out of 10, no notes. It's so good. One of the coolest eye products that I discovered this year is from Half Magic. It's their glitter puck, and that's what I've got all over the eyes today. This is so cool. It's the coolest formula, and it's like proper glitter. So if you're a glitter on the eyes gal, this is so good. This is the shade Dopamine Sparkle. They actually just launched a silver shade recently that I haven't tried yet. I'm dying to because this formula is so good. I feel like actually it stays very well on the eyes considering I don't use a glitter glue. If you use the right amount, you really don't see too much fallout. A little fallout is normal with a glitter product, but I love how impactful and sparkly this is on the eyes. Seriously, so good. If you're a glitter on the eyes girly, you have to check this out. Another topper that stole the show this year is from Kulfi. This is Zari Eyes in the shade Sona Sona. It's so good. It looks a little unassuming in the pan, but maybe I can swatch it for you guys. It's got the prettiest silver and pink reflex in here, and I've gotten so much use out of this. Look how pretty that is. Honestly, it's so beautiful. I've been reaching for that one, obviously, when I have a little bit more of a neutral, leaning warm toned look, when I want a gold sparkle in the eyes, versus the Half Magic is very rose gold, so that's why I chose to wear it today, because it just kind of fit more of that mauve vibe that I was going for, but this one's so good. One of my favorite everyday eyeshadows this year is the Mob Beauty and Shelby Wilson, who's my dear friend. She collabed with Mob Beauty, created some eyeshadows, and the M145 is my most used by far. I use this like crazy for everyday looks, and I would just put bronzer in the crease, pop a little bit of this right along the lash line, and it just gives that really nice glimmer to the eyelids. There's actually a couple of pictures on the Revie website where I'm wearing this eyeshadow. I can't recall which one, but I wore it to a photo shoot when I did my own makeup to just add that little like light reflecting fresh element to the eyelids. It's so pretty. I love it so much. And I've used it like crazy this year. All right, believe it or not, I've got not one, but two liquid liners to talk about in this video, which is crazy. My most worn, I would say, is the Fenty Beauty Long Liner. What is this called? Fly Liner, Longwear Liquid Eyeliner in Big Truffle. It's what I've got on right now. It's the brown color. I bought this because of Nikki LaRose, you guys know, and I feel like I've never looked back. It's really such a beautiful shade and really easy to work with, especially for me as more of a beginner. I will say I feel like the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Flick Liquid Liner is easier to work with than even that one. I feel like I reached for that one because it's a brown, which I feel like looks just a little more natural for me. But this kitten liner is so beautiful for when you want just the tiniest hint of a liner. I am not a pro when it comes to liquid liners, and I feel like a pro when I use this because I just feel like I have so much control. It's perfection. Like, this is one of the best liquid liners out there, especially if you don't want like a massive wing, you just want a baby wing or a kitten wing. It's unbelievable. It's so good. Like, I can't even tell you. I don't even like eyeliners. Well, I can't really say that anymore because I feel like I wear them more, but I'm not, and I was not a liquid liner person especially. And this, I feel like, is what got me hooked and what kind of like opened the door for me to love the Fenty one, because I tried this before that. Anyway, love that so much. My friend Nikki LaRose and Lisa J both got me hooked on this combo, which I love. So first of all, the DIOR Show Maximizer Lash Primer. This is so good. I usually don't reach for too many lash primers, but this one actually makes a difference, and I've been using it like crazy this year, but especially when paired with the YSL Lash Clash Mascara. Now, this is a beefy mascara. The wand on this is so huge, so it can get a little bit messy, but this is the combo that I'm wearing on my lashes today, and it was one of my favorite combo discoveries thanks to Nikki and Lisa. They're the ones who made me pick these up, and I'm so glad I did. I also really, really loved the Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash Mascara. It's such a beautiful everyday mascara. It's going to give you very fluffy looking lashes. Again, great for every day and pairs perfectly with the eyeliner. I use this quite a bit and it wears really well on me too. Another mascara that wears extremely well on me is the Tarte Tartelette XL mascara. This reminds me so much of the Thrive Cosmetics tubing mascara, which is probably why I like this so much, but it's gonna give you quite a bit of volume and it wears like a dream because it's a tubing mascara. So really wanted to give that a nice shout out. I've been wearing this quite a bit. It's really nice when you want a foolproof, like voluminous everyday mascara. All right, hopping into lips, you guys, I searched high and low for this lip liner and I could not find it. So I had to use something else today, but the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk Fair is so good. It's a beautiful lip liner, especially for fair skin tones. If you want that perfect light mauve, my goodness, it's so pretty. But I could find, and I'll show you, Pillow Talk Fair lipstick, which I love just as much. This is actually lighter than the lip liner, which I love the combo because I feel like you're able to create that contour and contrast. But here's the Pillow Talk Fair lipstick. I also want to give a nice little shout out. I don't remember if I put this in last year's favorites, but I got so much use out of this color and formula this year that I had to say it again. Or maybe it's the first time I put it in a yearly favorites. I don't know. This is Mario's satin lipstick in the shade South Shore. So good. So beautiful. One of the best for sure that I discovered this year. I wanted to also mention the Polite Society Big Mouth Lip Plumping Oil Gloss. This is so plumping on the lips. It's crazy. Not for the faint of heart. This really, really, really plumps the lips and it really burns. But if you are into that and you want extra full lips, this really packs a punch. It's crazy. One of my favorite gloss discoveries this year is from Armani. This is such a beautiful gloss that's so unbelievably comfortable on the lips. It's crazy. This is their Prismaglass Hydrating Lip Gloss. I use the shade Berry Beam the most, which I think is this one. Gorgeous. I love this. I also love the Victoria Beckham Posh Gloss in the shade Fizz. This is what I've got mostly on the lips. I did put Effortless Lips in Lily underneath, but I'll add this again so you can see the color. It's such a beautiful, like muted berry mauve. It does taste like Play-Doh, which I don't think I loved very much, but it's okay. I still wear it because of the color. And actually the formula is very comfortable. A brow product that I love this year is the Anastasia Brow Freeze Gel. This stuff does not budge. It's definitely very heavy duty, but I like that it doesn't get crusty. You know how some brow gels, especially the heavy duty ones, when you build them up, it gets kind of like heavy. This doesn't, but it really packs a punch. It's one of the best that I tried this year. It's so good. And then for like a setting spray product, I'm still very much into my Charlotte Tilbury and One Size combination, but this launched this year and it's so good. I was gonna say it's Divine, but that's literally what it's called. It's called Divine Water. It's from M Cosmetics. And this is what I'm wearing today. It just adds the prettiest glow to the skin. It smells so good and it makes your makeup look refreshed. I use this mostly on top of makeup, but you actually can use it underneath makeup to kind of prep the skin and it works really well. But it's so beautiful, you guys. One of my favorite setting sprays by far. It's always on my desk. All right, we're gonna run through some tools that I fell in love with. First being the CIELE foundation and concealer brush. I just think this is the perfect dual-ended foundation and concealer brush. I've gotten so much use out of this. Also from CIELE is their Complexion sponge. This is probably one of my most used sponges this year. I don't know what it is about it, but I love this, so I wanted to mention it. And then for contour, the BK Beauty 109 is unbelievable for contour. I feel like it's the perfect size to really get into the hairline and make very precise but blended lines, I guess, with your contour or bronzer. They also have the 112 blush brush, which I love for pinpointing like smaller areas of blush. Like say I use Paradise all over the skin with my blush brush like this, but I want to layer just like a soft focus moment of a brighter color like Oasis. I love taking this brush, I'll show you guys right now, and just kind of like tapping it on the apples of the cheeks. And then I feel like I'm able to get that hint more of color without overdoing it or completely covering up the other blush that I have layered. It's just perfect. I love this so much. Also, I have to give a shout out to the 101 brush. It's become, especially recently, one of my favorite foundation brushes. It's what I use today to blend out my foundation. It's so nice. And then last but not least, the Makeup by Mario Puff. There's something about this that I really, really love, especially when paired with the Mario powder. I don't know. I just have really gotten a lot of use out of this little puff this year. So I wanted to mention that as well. All right, you guys, so that completes my favorite makeup of 2024. I can't believe that completes this series. Again, if you missed my skincare favorites from this year or also my drugstore makeup video full of my favorites from this year, I will have both those videos linked down below. I will also have this added to my Best of Beauty playlist in case you want to see last year's favorites, and I've done this for several years, so you'll be able to see everything that I've loved basically since starting my channel. But I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of my top picks from the year. I would love to hear in the comments down below what makeup products you fell in love with this year. Do we have any similar favorites? Is there anything that you picked up and loved because of me? I would love to hear, so leave a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye!